Okay, the album is finished. I have mixed everything. I have mastered everything. So today we are going to talk about my mastering process. Again, little disclaimer, I am not a mastering engineer. This is actually a pretty simple process for me because I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to fuck it up. And then we're going to talk about kind of my release strategy for the album, and I will hit you up with the track list and what day it's going to be released. So let's get into it. All right, so this is another track that I'm going to release as a single. The last video I showed you my mixing process, and that was another track that I'm also going to release as a single. And so I kind of wanted to show you how I master the song. I'm not going to go through and master the entire thing, but I basically have just a really small mastering chain. There's only 3 plugins on the chain, and it's because I found excuse me, I have found in the past that I kind of overdo it when it comes to mastering. Like, my mix would sound good, or it would sound good as the initial idea, and then when I would get to mastering, I'm like, this doesn't sound anything like I want it to sound. So I've kind of really simplified that, and I just use these 3 plugins. The first plugin is called Masterdesk by Brainworx. I ended up getting it for free through some plugin alliance deal, and I actually love it because it's just very simple. I can get almost all of it done just in this one plugin. And so you get started by going through these kind of 3 areas. First is the volume, and you're trying to reach this little green dynamic range. And the next is the foundation. Do you want it to be a little bit more bass heavy or a little bit more treble heavy? Then I kind of adjust the tone. Okay, how do I want to kind of really fine tune it, dial it in? Then I can make things mono. For most of these, I did 100 hertz. I'm not quite sure why this one says 95, but 100 hertz. So anything under 100 hertz is mono. And then that's stereo, a little bit of stereo kind of width. I'm sure this is more of a mid-side combination here. And then there's some resonance filters. So if I hear any weird resonances, I can kind of auto solo and take a listen. And then the compressor link gets applied to kind of both the right and the left. I kind of just choose that based on the occasion. If it sounds good, I'll leave it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The limiter turbo kind of boosts that signal with just like, I think it's 1 more dB of compression. And then these are just kind of different compressor modes. And so I can kind of quickly go through, dial in each setting and kind of see how it sounds. And how I do that is I kind of just pick a part in the song that I think kind of has the most information or is probably going to be the loudest. So I'll just and so I'm kind of hoping that the most dynamic parts of the song have that really good kind of green dynamic range that I'm looking for. And then I like to use this as my limiter. It's called Oxford Inflator. I don't know if this was something I got for free. I think it might have been, or something that I paid for. I don't buy a lot of plugins. I normally just use stuff that's free unless I really think it's going to be helpful. And so this I use all of these in conjunction with this last one, but I definitely use these 2 at the same time. And this last plugin is just a levels plugin. It lets me check my peak. It lets me check my LUFS. And I kind of just use those in conjunction to kind of meter things together. And so I'll take a listen. And now normally I'm going for that -14 LUFS, but I felt like for this album, I always felt like my stuff was never loud enough on streaming services. So I'm kind of going for like -12 to kind of just boost it up and make it a little bit better. And yeah, so that's really all I do for mastering. Mastering is like a very streamlined process that hopefully will work out for me now. I think it's going to work better because I'm not overdoing it, and I'm kind of just making it have that sparkle. All right, so that's kind of what I do for mastering. Very simple. If you want to know more about those plugins, I'm sure you can go look at a YouTube video and learn all about them. And I think they give away the Brainworx stuff for free sometimes, so hopefully you can get those for free. Now I kind of want to jump into what my album release strategy is, which has actually changed in literally like the past 2 days. I at first was just going to release it as like a whole album and maybe do like 2 of them as a single, because I hate that you have to consistently put out music all the time. I kind of think it dilutes the artistry of music, but I also want it to be successful in terms of like getting streaming numbers or even giving me a chance to make some money off of it, which I'll talk about maybe in a later video. But the plan is that there's 10 tracks. I'm going to release 5 of them as singles leading up to the album every 2 weeks. So it'll be 5 singles 2 weeks apart, and then the album. And the kind of thinking behind that is that I'm constantly showing up on people's release radar or their new arrivals or whatever their streaming platform uses as like a way to notify them of new music. So I'm consistently showing up on people that have already listened to my music, and hopefully that can kind of help me build some buzz, build some traction, and kind of snowball up to the release of the album. I'm already talking to an artist about drawing the album artwork. I toyed with the idea of doing AI, but I don't know. I'm sure other people feel their own way about it. To me, it just rubs me the wrong way. If I'm going to be an independent artist and I want to also support independent artists, I would rather pay somebody to draw something and work on their craft and make money from it than just go straight to AI. And personally, in my opinion, most of the AI pictures look like shit. I don't like how they look. They don't feel human. I don't know. Something about them is just weird. So I don't want to use AI. I'm going to pay for somebody to do all of the solo single album art and the entire album art. But yeah, that's kind of my plan. 5 singles, released 2 weeks apart, and then the album. And then that way I technically will have 6 songs that show up on people's release radar. And then, I don't know, hopefully that kind of helps me get everything rolling and, kind of build some buzz, some traction for the album. But the last thing I wanted to do is I wanted to let you listen to this song. If you're watching these videos, I really appreciate it, and I kind of want to give you, some type of value for you spending your time watching these things. So I want you to be able to listen to this track before it goes out. So we can do that, and then peace until the next time.
Make a wish and close your eyes. All we ever need is time. Don't you let it pass you by. close your eyes. All we ever need is time. Don't you let it pass you by.